Have you ever been in the shop trying to get faster, trying to get your projects done, and it just feels like time is creeping by on how long it's taking you to sand stuff, how long it's taking you to finish stuff, and you just can't seem to get ahead? Well, in today's video, I want to walk you through exactly how you can use tools and efficiencies to speed up your processes inside of your woodworking business or even your handmade business. Let's dive in. Well, hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show. As always, so grateful for your time and your attention. Today's video, I want to talk to you specifically about how to create efficiencies with your tools inside your shop to get faster. For those of you that are trying to grow your woodworking business, if you don't have sales and marketing lined out and you don't have a surplus of business flowing in, well, this isn't that much of an issue because you don't have pressing timelines. But as you start to get your marketing and your sales lined out and you get more and more sales, more and more leads, you have more and more going on, you need to speed up your production time. There's so many ways to do this. So number one, add more employees, right? This is super basic. This is not a tool necessarily, but just by having more manpower, you're gonna move faster. If you're working full-time in the shop, you add another full-time person, you just cut your lead times in half. And if it works the way that it should, you should create some synergy, which is basically the concept of 2 + 2 = 5, which means the two of us working together is actually more than twice as efficient. When you think about moving heavy things around the shop, the ability to communicate and somebody help you grab things, like that creates more than twice as much efficiency inside the shop. So number one is hiring more employees, right? Now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, okay, Zach, I know that everything in this is gonna be helpful, but I'm not to that point yet. I need to continue to grow my sales, my marketing. I want you to check out the Handmade Hero Academy if you're just starting out. You know, you're less than $2,000 to $3,000 per month. And if you're above that marker and you really want to grow and scale your woodworking business, be sure to check out the Woodworking Business Accelerator program, where I come in, I help run your ads and your marketing for you, generate leads for you, and generate tons of sales. We currently have over 22 clients inside of that program, and they're all getting incredible results. So I want you to check that out if that's you. Okay, so let's dive into the tools that you need to speed up your processes. So number one, the number one thing that slows most woodworking businesses down is sanding. Sanding is one of those things that it's important, it's vital, it's critical. You can't skimp on it. You have to do it to make sure that the quality of your product that goes out is really great, right? When I first started, I started with a 5-inch DeWalt orbital sander, and that's how I sanded everything. There's levels to this, right? So the next most cost-efficient step up that you can take is moving from the regular orbital sanders to moving to like a Festool Rotex 150 or something along those lines that is a gear-driven sander that's gonna take off way more material, or a belt sander. A belt sander sometimes isn't great because it can leave waves in your table if you're not great at using a belt sander. Some of you will probably comment on this and be like, man, I'm bad to the bone with a belt sander. I'm great at that. You keep rocking that out, doing that. But for me, moving to either that Bosch DVS 6-inch sander or the Festool Rotex 150 made a major improvement in the speed at which we sand and finish our projects inside the shop. So the next level to that is something like a drum sander. And then the next level to that, obviously, is like a wide belt sander where you're pulling your tabletop off of the clamp rack, shoving it through a wide belt sander, popping out the other, and it's completely done, right? Crazy. Stay with me because I'm going to be there by the end of this year where we have something like that and I can tell you more about it. So, okay, number two, clamping. Now I see where a lot of people move really slow during the clamping phase of their production inside of their wood shop. When we talk about clamping, when we talk about how to get more efficient, the question that we have to ask ourselves is, number one, how long is it taking me? And is it because of the way I do it or because of the tools that I have? And so alignment issues is something that's easily fixed with using a biscuit joiner or using a domino from Festool, something along those lines. It's going to create a lot of just consistencies as you're laminating your boards. You can use regular bar clamps. You can use a JTL clamp system. That's a really great system to use. But essentially what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to get your tabletop glue ups down to below an hour. When I'm really moving quickly by myself, I can do a full 8-foot long by 40-inch wide tabletop glue up by myself in less than an hour. Now there's other tricks and tips to that. That's part of what you get inside of the Woodworking Business Accelerator program. So if you want that, check that out. But the last thing that's going to help you move way faster inside of your shop as far as production is concerned is your finishing. I know a lot of you guys are starting out the same way I started out and using things like polyurethane, water-based poly, things like that. And let me just say that those are actually really great products. Those are super durable. They just have really slow cure time. So if you're spraying polyurethane or if you are applying it with a brush, it's going to take 5 to 8 hours for that polyurethane to dry, depending upon the humidity in the room, the temperature, etc. And so when we discovered lacquer, it changed the game for us, and it did in a couple ways. So number one, it dries so much faster. So lacquer is going to dry anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour per coat of lacquer that you apply. What that means is 1/5 of the time that you're waiting on a coat of polyurethane to dry, your coat of lacquer is already dried. You're going in there and you're sanding that down, smoothing that out, and applying your next coat. And if you do it efficiently through a spray gun, it's really going to change the game. The last one here, your paint. How are you applying your paint? So I remember when I first started out and I was doing chairs like the chair I'm sitting in right now, some of these chairs that you can see behind me, I was painting them all by hand with a brush. When I tell you that it took forever, it took forever. Forever. As soon as I invested in a spray gun, it changed the game for me in the rate at which I could spray paint. I would highly recommend that if you're in a place where your sales and marketing are outpacing your production and you're trying to grow production, that you really focus on your sanding, clamping, and your finishing, and speeding up those processes by utilizing tools that are available to you for relatively low cost to make that a reality. With that being said, if this was helpful to you, let me know it. Leave your comments below. Let me know where you're watching from. Love to connect with you. Make sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my other videos. We have over 100 videos, I think, at this point that you can check out with all kinds of information around growing your woodworking or your handmade business. So with that being said, love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.